Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're the show that digs through stacks of information to pull out the most potent, the most surprising, and, well, the most actionable insights just for you.
That's the goal.
So today we're tackling something pretty fundamental. What if, everything you thought about getting rich was maybe just, well, partly true? What if the real secrets to, lasting wealth aren't just about how much you earn, but really about how you think about money?
It's a huge question. Because, often our default understanding of money gets built on these assumptions that, well, they just don't serve us if the goal is real lasting wealth.
Right.
So today we're kind of cutting through that noise, showing you how the truly wealthy navigate the financial world. It's often quite different.
Exactly. And our source material for this deep dive, it's a comprehensive look at the 24 Money Secrets Only Rich People Know audiobook. Loads of stuff in there.
Yep.
And our mission for you, our listener, is basically to pull out the most impactful, often really counterintuitive nuggets of wisdom from all that material.
Giving you a shortcut, really.
Yeah, think of it as your shortcut to understanding how truly wealthy individuals approach their finances. We're uncovering a profoundly different way of seeing money and opportunity.
And just to be clear, this isn't about, magic formulas or anything. It's about a strategic, often very patient approach to financial decisions that, frankly, most people just aren't aware of.
Okay, let's dive in then. Where do we start? Maybe with something that really flips the script.
Yeah, let's start there. Most of us think about money simply, right? You earn it, then you spend it.
Pretty straightforward.
But what if there's this crucial kind of hidden phase, something that happens before that money even gets close to your spending account?
Hidden phase. Okay, I'm intrigued.
This is what the wealthy seem to master with something called money's triple play. And interestingly, it leads right into a radical rethinking of debt.
Money's triple play. Okay, so what is that exactly? 3 moves before spending.
That's the core idea. For the wealthy, every single dollar isn't just, a unit to buy things. It's more like a multi-stage rocket.
Okay. A rocket.
Yeah, they send it on like 3 missions before it's ever used for just consumption. It's all about maximizing the earning potential from every single dollar that comes in.
So this isn't about being frugal or depriving yourself. It's about activating the money.
Exactly. It's activation, not deprivation.
Can you give us an example? How does money make these 3 moves?
Sure. Think about a business owner. They might first put profits back into growing their business operations. New equipment, more marketing, whatever. That's move 1.
Okay, reinvestment.
Right. Then maybe the extra money earned from that growth, they invest that in the stock market. That's move 2, making money from the money that the first move generated.
Okay. Layer 2.
And then finally, perhaps the dividends from those stocks, they use those to buy a rental property. That's move 3. Each step creates new ways to earn before that initial profit is ever really spent in the traditional sense.
Wow, so it's like a cascade.
It is a cascading effect.
It's like your money becomes this tireless employee doing multiple jobs for you. What about for someone who isn't a business owner, say a freelancer?
Good question. A freelancer could maybe place their earnings into a high-yield business savings account first. That's move 1, earning interest.
Simple enough.
Then maybe they use the interest earned from that account to pay for, say, further education or a certification in their field. That's move 2, investing in their own skills, their human capital.
Okay, upgrading themselves.
Yep. And then, with those improved skills, they can charge significantly higher rates to their clients. See, the original money wasn't spent on consumption. It multiplied its earning power through these steps.
That's a really powerful reframing. And it sounds like this thinking connects directly to how the wealthy viewed debt.
Absolutely.
Because for most of us, debt feels like, well, just a burden, something to avoid like the plague. But you're saying for the wealthy, it can be a tool.
It can be, yes. Yeah. A very powerful tool, if used correctly. They understand that distinction between good debt and bad debt.
Okay, so where's the line? What makes debt good versus just bad?
Well, good debt is essentially borrowing money for things that are expected to generate income or increase your net worth over time. Think assets that appreciate or produce cash flow.
Like investment properties or maybe business loans.
Exactly. Whereas bad debt, that's borrowing for things that don't provide a financial benefit and often carry high interest, like credit card debt for consumables, personal loans for vacations, maybe even car loans for vehicles that just depreciate quickly.
Got it. So the real estate example seems super clear for good debt. You use a mortgage, which is debt, to buy a rental property.
Right. You control a large asset with a relatively small down payment.
And ideally, the tenant's rent covers all the costs, mortgage, taxes, upkeep, and maybe even gives you extra cash flow each month.
Plus, the property itself hopefully appreciates in value over time, building your equity. So you're using borrowed money, good debt, to build wealth and generate passive income.
Okay, and this isn't just real estate, right? You mentioned business loans.
Yeah, same principle. If a business secures a loan to expand operations, develop a new product line, or enter a new market, and that borrowed money is projected to generate more profit than the cost of the loan, that's good debt. It's fuel for growth.
Even student loans could fit in here, couldn't they? If the education significantly boosts lifetime earning potential.
Potentially, yes. It's an investment in human capital.
Yeah.
Or even, say, a strategic personal loan or a home equity line of credit if it's used specifically to fund a side business or a high-yield investment opportunity where the expected return clearly outweighs the borrowing cost.
But this sounds like it requires serious discipline. It's not just go get a loan and hope for the best.
Oh, absolutely not. That's critical.
Yeah.
Using debt effectively for wealth building demands meticulous planning, thorough research, a really deep understanding of the risks involved.
So you need to know your numbers cold.
You do. The wealthy will carefully evaluate cash flows. They'll run different scenarios, best case, worst case, likely case, and they always have contingency plans.
Yeah.
They keep a very close eye on their overall debt-to-income ratios, their debt-to-asset ratios, ensuring their borrowing stays manageable. It's incredibly intentional.
Okay. Intentionality. That seems key. Now, if money can work harder and debt can be a tool, how do the wealthy make sure they actually keep more of what they generate? Taxes must be a huge piece of this puzzle.
A massive piece.
Most of us just see taxes as this, inevitable chunk taken out, but the wealthy seem to approach the tax code almost like a guidebook
Or
or a treasure map.
that's a great way to put it. Instead of viewing the tax code as just this complex burden, they see it as a system of incentives.
Right.
It's deliberately designed by governments to encourage certain economic activities.
Activities
Like investing, starting businesses, creating jobs, even charitable giving. The wealthy understand these rules and align their financial actions to take advantage of the rewards built into the system. It's not just about finding deductions. It's about structuring their affairs to naturally minimize the tax bite while maximizing growth.
So it's strategic alignment, not just evasion or clever loopholes. It's using the rules as intended.
Exactly. It's about optimizing within the legal framework. And there are several key strategies they employ consistently.
Okay. What are some of the big ones?
Well, one fundamental strategy is maximizing contributions to tax-advantaged investment accounts. Things like 401ks in the U.S. or IRAs, RSPs in Canada, ISAs in the U.K., whatever the local equivalent is.
Right, the retirement accounts.
Yeah. These allow your investments to grow either tax-deferred or completely tax-free. That's a huge advantage over investing in a regular taxable account, especially over long periods thanks to compounding. It's like getting a government-sponsored boost.
Okay, that makes sense. I've also heard a lot about long-term capital gains being important. Why is that such a big deal?
It is a big deal. So capital gains are profits you make from selling an asset like stocks, bonds, real estate for more than you paid for it. If you hold that asset for over a year before selling, typically the profit is taxed at a lower rate than your regular income, like your salary.
Ah, so holding investments longer term is rewarded by the tax system.
Generally, yes. So wealthy investors often focus on strategies that generate these long-term capital gains rather than short-term trading profits or ordinary income, which are usually taxed at higher rates. It encourages patient investment.
And real estate pops up again here, doesn't it? Not just for debt, but for tax advantages, too.
Oh, significantly. Real estate offers some unique tax benefits. Owners can often deduct depreciation, a non-cash expense that reflects the theoretical wear and tear on the property, which lowers their taxable income.
Even if the property value is going up.
Often, yes. There are also things like 1031 exchanges in the U.S., which allow investors to defer paying capital gains taxes if they sell an investment property and reinvest the proceeds into a similar property within a certain time frame.
Wow, that's powerful for building a portfolio.
Very. Plus, under certain circumstances, losses from rental properties can sometimes be used to offset income from other sources. Smart investors strategically use these rules to build substantial portfolios while legally minimizing their tax burden.
Okay. And what about owning a business versus just being an employee? Are there inherent tax advantages there?
There certainly can be. Entrepreneurs generally have access to a wider range of potential deductions than employees. business expenses, home office deductions if applicable, deductions for contributions to employee retirement plans, things like that. Plus, there are sometimes specific credits or deductions aimed at encouraging business creation and growth, like the qualified business income deduction in the U.S.
So the system incentivizes entrepreneurship.
It does. And finally, there's strategic philanthropy, giving to charity.
Which is obviously good for the world, but also has tax implications.
Yes. While the primary motivation is usually altruistic, the tax code often provides significant benefits for charitable giving. Using vehicles like donor-advised funds or charitable remainder trusts can allow individuals to make substantial contributions, receive tax deductions, and sometimes even retain some control or income stream from the donated assets during their lifetime. It's a way to align personal values, societal impact, and financial efficiency.
Okay, shifting gears a bit. From financial structures to human connections. There's that old saying, it's not what you know, but who you know. How literally true is that when it comes to building wealth?
It's incredibly true. The wealthiest individuals understand that building and nurturing relationships isn't just, a nice social activity. It's a core strategic investment in their financial future.
A strategic investment, so like dedicating actual time to it.
Yes. The source material actually suggests dedicating something like, say, 2 hours per week specifically to intentional relationship building.
2 hours? That's specific. Doesn't sound like much, but I guess it adds up.
It compounds, just like money. And this isn't about just collecting business cards at networking events. That's superficial.
Right. So what is it about?
It's about building genuine connections and, crucially, adopting a value-first approach.
Value first, meaning?
Meaning you focus on how you can help others in your network rather than constantly thinking about what you can get from them. Make introductions. Share useful information. Offer assistance on projects. When you consistently provide value, opportunities and positive connections tend to flow back to you naturally. It's about giving before receiving.
That makes sense. Be a resource, not just a taker. And this happens beyond formal events, right?
Absolutely. While events have a role, the real depth often comes from more personal interactions. A coffee meeting, a quick phone call just to check in, making those interactions meaningful. And leveraging tools like LinkedIn, effectively not just collecting connections, but engaging substantively.
And I guess it's a long game, too. These relationships don't pay off overnight.
Not at all. That initial connection is just the starting point. The real value emerges from consistent effort over years, nurturing those relationships, showing genuine interest in people's success and well-being.
And diversifying your network, not just sticking with people in your own industry.
Hugely important. Connecting with people from different industries, different age groups, diverse backgrounds, that brings fresh perspectives, unexpected insights, and potentially surprising opportunities that you'd miss if you only talk to people exactly like you. It's an investment that really pays dividends over decades.
Okay, speaking of investments, let's touch on something many people are curious about. Watching what billionaires do. This idea of following the smart money.
Yes, billionaire tracking.
Is there value in that? And
Sure.
how do you do it without just blindly copying them? Because their situation is totally different from ours.
Right. That's the crucial caveat. Blindly copying is dangerous. Billionaires have vastly different resources, risk tolerance, time horizons, access to information, and even access to exclusive deals that average investors simply don't.
So trying to mirror their exact trades is probably a bad idea.
Generally, yes. The real goal isn't to replicate their portfolio, but to understand how they think, to grasp their underlying strategies and perspectives, and then see if those insights can inform your own decisions, adapted to your own circumstances.
Okay, so what should we be looking for when we see where billionaires are investing?
Look for broader trends. If you see multiple successful billionaires consistently investing in a particular sector, say renewable energy or AI or biotech, that could signal a significant long-term shift or growth area worth exploring further, they often have teams analyzing these things deeply.
So they're like canaries in the coal mine for major trends.
Sometimes, yes. Also, pay attention to their timing, if you can discern it. Are they buying when markets are fearful and prices are low? Are they selling when markets seem euphoric and potentially overvalued? Understanding their contrarian moves can offer insights into market cycles.
And diversification. Even if they made their fortune in one area, do they spread their bets later?
Almost always. Observe how they diversify across different asset classes, industries, and geographies. It highlights the fundamental importance of risk management, even for those with immense wealth. Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
And if you see a consensus forming multiple smart billionaires investing in the same specific area.
That could be a strong signal, yeah. It might indicate a particularly compelling opportunity or trend. But again, always filter these observations through your own lens. Do your own research. Understand why they might be investing there. Does it align with your goals, your risk tolerance, your financial situation? Use their moves as input for your thinking, not as direct instructions.
Got it. Learn from them, don't just copy them. Okay, this next one feels like a really big paradigm shift for most people. Disconnecting time from money.
Huge. Absolutely fundamental.
Most of us are stuck in that direct trade, right? Hours worked equals dollars earned. How do the wealthy break free from that limitation?
It starts with recognizing that trading time for money inherently limits your earning potential. There are only so many hours in a day. The wealthy understand this, so they focus on building systems, assets, and investments that generate income without requiring their constant active involvement.
Passive income streams, basically.
Essentially, yes. Or at least income streams that are highly leveraged against their time. Think about things like rental properties generating monthly income, dividend-paying stocks providing regular payouts, royalties from intellectual property like a book, a song, a patent that can earn money for years after the initial creation effort.
Right. The work is done up front, but the income continues.
Exactly. Or profits from a business that's set up with systems and management so it can run effectively without the owner needing to be there day to day.
Yeah.
Or digital product software, online courses, ebooks that can be created once and sold thousands or millions of times with minimal additional effort per sale.
That scalability aspect seems key, especially with digital stuff.
Scalability is crucial for truly disconnecting time from money. And it's not always purely passive in the sense of doing absolutely nothing. Sometimes it's about leveraging time more effectively.
How so?
Like building a team and delegating tasks, or transitioning from billing by the hour to offering packaged solutions or scalable products. A consultant moving from hourly fees to selling a high-value course, for example. Or a doctor starting a clinic that employs other doctors.
So you're multiplying your impact beyond your own hours, but this sounds like it often requires a significant upfront investment, right? Either time or money or both.
It almost always does, yes. Building a business, developing a product, acquiring income-producing assets. These things typically demand considerable effort and resources up front before they start generating that leveraged or passive income.
So patience is key. It's not an overnight thing.
Patience and long-term thinking are absolutely essential. It's about planting seeds today that will grow into income-producing trees later.
Okay, moving on to something that sounds a bit mysterious. The art of unseen earnings. What are hidden profit opportunities, and how do you actually develop the skill to spot them? Is it just luck?
It's definitely not just luck. It's about cultivating a specific way of seeing the world, recognizing value and opportunity where others don't. Most people follow established paths, but the truly wealthy often develop an ability to look beyond the obvious.
So how do you cultivate that? Train your brain to see differently.
It starts with intense curiosity and open-mindedness. You have to be willing to question assumptions, look deeper than the surface, and consider possibilities that aren't immediately apparent. Ask why a lot.
And expose yourself to different ideas.
Exactly. Engage with diverse information. Read widely, not just in your own field. Attend conferences or talks outside your usual domain. Talk to people from completely different walks of life. This cross-pollination of ideas helps you connect dots in novel ways.
Spotting gaps or problems.
That's a big part of it. Analyze inefficiencies. Where are the frustrations? Where are the bottlenecks? Problems are often just opportunities in disguise. Think about common consumer complaints, supply chain issues, market gaps. If you can solve a problem, you can often create value and profit.
Like the early adopters of new technologies, people who saw potential in e-commerce or crypto before everyone else.
Perfect examples. They weren't just following trends, they were evaluating emerging technologies or ideas and seeing potential applications or value before it became mainstream. This also applies to finding undervalued assets.
Like Warren Buffett finding companies the market didn't appreciate.
Precisely. Looking for overlooked real estate, struggling businesses that can be turned around, stocks that are temporarily out of favor but have strong fundamentals. It requires analysis and conviction.
So you need the courage to think differently, maybe even go against the crowd.
You absolutely do. When you spot an opportunity others miss, there's often skepticism. You need the confidence to trust your analysis and judgment. And it requires continuous learning and adaptability because the landscape of opportunity is always shifting. What's hidden today might be obvious tomorrow.
Okay, this next one sounds like a paradox. Control without possession. Controlling assets or businesses without actually owning them outright. How does that work, and why would you want to?
It's a very powerful strategic principle. It allows individuals or entities to exert influence and derive benefits from assets or businesses without taking on the full risks, responsibilities, or capital requirements of direct ownership.
So you get the upside without all the downside, or less of it.
Potentially, yes. It's about using legal and financial structures to maintain decision-making power or access to profits without having the asset on your own balance sheet.
Can you give some real-world examples?
Sure. Leasing is a common one. A successful restaurant owner wants to expand. Instead of buying a prime downtown building, huge capital outlay, property taxes, maintenance headaches, they lease it. They control the space, run their business there, but don't own the bricks and mortar. Less risk, more flexibility.
Okay, leasing makes sense. What else?
Intellectual property licensing. An inventor patents a brilliant new gadget but doesn't have the manufacturing or distribution capabilities. They license the patent to a large company. They retain ownership of the idea, control how it's used via the license agreement, and receive royalties, while the big company handles production and sales.
Leveraging someone else's infrastructure.
Exactly. Or think about holding companies like Berkshire Hathaway. They own significant stakes in many operating companies, influencing major strategic decisions, but they aren't involved in the day-to-day running of each business.
And things like REITs, real estate investment trusts.
Good example. Investors buy shares in a REIT, which owns and manages a portfolio of income-producing properties. The investors get exposure to real estate returns and dividends without directly owning or managing any buildings themselves.
And the whole platform economy, Uber, Airbnb.
Perfect illustrations of control without possession. Uber doesn't own the cars. Airbnb doesn't own the properties. They control vast networks of service providers and customers through their technology platform, taking a cut of each transaction. It's incredibly scalable and capital light compared to traditional models.
But I imagine this requires careful legal setup and ongoing management.
Absolutely. Contracts, agreements, relationship management, these are crucial. If not structured properly, or if relationships break down, you can lose that control. It's a sophisticated strategy.
Okay, sophisticated indeed. Now for something seemingly simple but maybe profound, the strength of saying no. Why is saying no so powerful in wealth building? Doesn't yes open doors?
Yes, open some doors, but the wealthy understand that every yes inherently means saying no to countless other possibilities. There's an opportunity cost to every commitment.
The opportunity cost, what you could have done instead.
Exactly. Agreeing to one project, one investment, one meeting means you cannot pursue other potentially more valuable opportunities that might arise during that time. The truly successful are masters at weighing these hidden costs.
So saying no is actually about protecting your resources, your time and energy.
Precisely. Time and energy are your most finite and valuable resources, arguably more so than money. Saying no strategically allows you to conserve that energy and focus it intensely on the things that truly matter, the activities and opportunities that align with your core goals and offer the highest potential return.
How do you get good at saying no effectively? It requires clarity, doesn't it?
It requires deep clarity about your values, your long-term vision, and your priorities. When you know exactly what you're aiming for, it becomes much easier to identify which opportunities are aligned and which are just distractions, even if they look appealing on the surface.
And the delivery matters too, right? You don't want to burn bridges.
Absolutely. It's important to learn how to say no politely but firmly. You can decline an opportunity while still preserving the relationship for potential future collaborations. It's about being decisive and respectful.
So viewing time and energy as precious assets that need careful guarding, that's a powerful perspective.
It really is. It underpins a lot of effective decision-making.
Okay. Following on from resources, let's talk about information. The benefit of having more information. This isn't just knowing stuff, is it? It sounds like knowing things before other people do. How do you cultivate that edge ethically?
Right. It's crucial to distinguish this from illegal insider trading. This information advantage is about developing superior awareness, cultivating insightful connections, and being prepared to act decisively when patterns emerge or opportunities crystallize before they become common knowledge.
So it's about diligence and connections, not cheating.
Exactly. Many successful investors or entrepreneurs seem to have this knack, this almost sixth sense for market shifts. But usually That intuition is built on a foundation of rigorous work in gathering and analyzing information from diverse sources.
What kind of sources are we talking about beyond the usual news headlines?
You need to go deeper. Specialized industry reports, academic research, niche publications, attending focused conferences, maybe even patent filings or demographic studies. The most valuable insights often lie away from the mainstream chatter.
And networking plays a role here too, I assume.
A huge role. Cultivating relationships with experts and leaders in various fields can provide invaluable context and early signals you won't find in public documents. Sometimes a casual conversation yields more insight than a formal report.
But isn't there a risk of information overload today? How do you process it all?
You absolutely need a system. Whether it's software, a dedicated process, or simply carving out regular time for focused reading and reflection, you need a way to filter, organize, synthesize, and connect the dots from the vast amount of data available.
And the final piece is acting on it.
Yes, an information advantage is useless if you don't act on it. This requires courage and conviction, especially if your insights challenge conventional wisdom. Many people might uncover valuable information, but hesitate due to uncertainty or fear. The ability to act decisively on well-researched insights is what translates information into wealth. And constant learning is key. The information landscape never stands still.
Okay, next up, success multiplication. This sounds like getting leverage on your efforts. It's more than just hard work.
Much more. Think of building a successful venture or investment strategy, like building a sturdy house. You need a solid foundation, yes, but you also need strong walls, a weatherproof roof, reliable plumbing and electricity. Relying on just one strength, say, just hard work or just a good idea, is like trying to live in only the foundation.
So success requires multiple components working together.
Exactly. The real magic, the exponential growth, happens when several key success factors are present and actively reinforcing each other. They multiply the effect rather than just adding up.
What are some of those key factors?
They can vary depending on the context, but common ones include deep knowledge or skills in a specific area, a strong and supportive network, excellent timing or market positioning, adequate financial resources, and a capacity for innovation or adaptation.
And they all interact.
Deeply. Imagine someone with a brilliant, innovative product idea. That's knowledge and innovation. But without a strong network to find partners or funding, without the resources to actually produce and market it, and without good timing for market readiness, that brilliant idea might go nowhere. Success required multiplying those factors.
So how can someone apply this? Is it about self-assessment, identifying your weak points?
That's a great starting point. Regularly assess your own success factors. Where are you strong? Where are you perhaps overly reliant on one element? What other areas could you intentionally cultivate to create that multiplier effect?
Like, if you're technically brilliant but weak at networking, focusing on building connections could unlock huge potential.
Precisely. Or finding creative ways to combine your existing strengths. Maybe applying your deep industry knowledge to a new emerging market, or leveraging your network to access resources you didn't have before. It's about consciously building a more complete house for your endeavors.
Okay. This next one challenges the flashy image we sometimes associate with wealth. The practice of subtle prosperity, quiet wealth. Why is flying under the radar often the smarter move?
It's a really important, though perhaps less glamorous aspect of lasting wealth. While society often focuses on extravagant displays, those who are serious about preserving and growing wealth often understand the profound benefits of discretion. Keeping a low profile can lead to more stable, secure, and ultimately more sustainable financial success.
What are the tangible advantages of being subtle? Is it just about avoiding unwanted attention?
That's a big part of it, certainly. Asset safety. Being less visible reduces your exposure to frivolous lawsuits, scams, theft, and other personal risks that can come with perceived wealth. Privacy is a form of security.
Makes sense. Any other benefits?
Yes, greater freedom and flexibility. When you're not constantly trying to keep up appearances or meet external expectations, you have more freedom to make financial decisions based purely on what's best for your long-term goals, not what looks good to others. It allows for more rational planning.
And maybe more genuine relationships.
That too. When people connect with you based on who you are, rather than what you have, those relationships tend to be more authentic and reliable.
So how does one actually practice this? It doesn't mean living in poverty, does it?
Not at all. It starts with a mindset shift, viewing wealth primarily as a tool for security, opportunity, and freedom, rather than just a status symbol. Then it's about mindful consumption. Enjoy your success, live comfortably, but perhaps avoid excessive ostentation. A comfortable home, a reliable car, quality clothes without needing prominent logos everywhere.
And being careful online.
Definitely. Be mindful of your digital footprint. Avoid oversharing financial details or flashy purchases on social media. For larger assets or businesses, consider using legal structures like trusts or LLCs where appropriate and legal to enhance privacy. And even with philanthropy, many wealthy individuals prefer to give anonymously or quietly, keeping the focus on the cause, not the donor.
Interesting. A very different perspective. Now let's explore the link between perception and price. The idea that how something seems can matter more than what it is. How is this leveraged in finance?
This is fundamental. In many areas, especially finance and luxury markets, perception doesn't just influence value, it often creates value, sometimes more powerfully than the objective qualities of the thing itself. The wealthy understand and strategically utilize this perception-price connection.
Can you give a classic example?
The luxury goods market is rife with them. Think of a high-end designer handbag. The materials and labor might cost, say, a few $100s, but add the brand name, the marketing, the carefully crafted image of exclusivity and status, and it sells for thousands. The perceived value vastly exceeds the intrinsic cost.
So branding is all about shaping perception to justify a higher price.
Exactly. And it applies elsewhere, too. Real estate's a great example. Two physically identical houses can have dramatically different market values based solely on the perceived desirability, safety, or prestige of the neighborhood they're in. Smart developers and investors work to enhance the perception of an area.
And this applies to people and companies too. Personal branding.
Absolutely. An expert consultant with a strong reputation and perceived authority can command significantly higher fees than someone with similar skills but less visibility. A company perceived as being highly innovative or socially responsible might enjoy a higher stock price or greater customer loyalty, even if its financials are comparable to competitors. Perception drives economic behavior.
So how do you actively shape or boost perceived value? What are the strategies?
One is strategic positioning, carefully crafting the narrative and presentation around a product, service, or even yourself to resonate with a target audience's desires and values. Another is association, linking yourself or your offering with other people, brands, or institutions that already have high perceived value. Think celebrity endorsements or prestigious affiliations.
And scarcity, making something seem exclusive.
Yes, scarcity and exclusivity are powerful drivers of perceived value. Limited editions, members-only clubs, waiting lists. These all create a sense that something is more desirable because it's hard to get, pushing up the price people are willing to pay.
Fascinating how much psychology is involved. Okay, next, understanding risk assessment. This feels essential, but maybe more complex than just avoiding risk altogether. How do the wealthy really analyze and manage risk?
It's absolutely crucial and far more nuanced than simply being risk-averse. Effective risk assessment is about identifying potential downsides, yes, but also about quantifying them, understanding probabilities, and making informed decisions about which risks are worth taking for the potential rewards. It's a core competency.
So it's not just gut feeling. What are some of the actual methods used?
Well, there are quantitative methods. Probability analysis is one trying to assign likelihoods to different potential outcomes. For example, success, failure, moderate return, and calculating an expected value for an investment or decision. Scenario analysis is another, modeling how an investment might perform under different possible future conditions. For example, recession, boom, regulatory change, to understand the range of possibilities and prepare contingency plans.
Like stress testing your assumptions.
Exactly. Sensitivity analysis is related to tweaking key variables in a financial model, like interest rates or sales growth, to see how sensitive the outcome is to those changes. This helps identify the most critical risk factors, but it's not all numbers.
Right, qualitative factors too.
Yes, crucial ones: the reputation and track record of potential partners, the stability of the regulatory environment, broader geopolitical risks, competitive dynamics. These less quantifiable factors are just as important in a thorough risk assessment.
So once you've assessed the risk, it's about managing it, not necessarily eliminating it.
Precisely. Because often, higher potential rewards come with higher risks. The key is to manage risk intelligently, aligning the level of risk taken with your financial goals, your capacity to absorb potential losses, and your personal tolerance for uncertainty.
And diversification is a major tool for that.
The cornerstone of risk management for most investors. Spreading investments across different asset classes, stocks, bonds, real estate, industries, and geographic regions helps ensure that if one area performs poorly, your entire portfolio isn't dragged down. Using leverage, debt wisely is another aspect, understanding that it can amplify both gains and losses, and using it judiciously. Hedging strategies, insurance, these are all tools in the risk management toolbox.
Okay, let's shift to maybe the most patient force in wealth building, time itself, the role of time in building wealth. How critical is it, really?
It's arguably the most powerful yet often underestimated factor. Time works quietly, relentlessly, to transform even modest, consistent savings and investments into substantial fortunes. Wealth building is almost always a marathon, not a sprint, and time is the track.
And the engine is compound interest, right? Einstein's eighth wonder.
That's the magic, yes. Compounding is where your earnings start generating their own earnings. Your interest earns interest. Your dividends buy more shares, which then pay more dividends. It creates this snowball effect, an accelerating growth curve that becomes incredibly powerful over long periods.
Can you give that quick example again, the difference starting early makes?
Sure. Let's say investor A starts saving $5,000 a year at age 25, and investor B starts saving the same $5,000 a year but waits until age 35. Assuming a hypothetical 7% average annual return by age 65, investor A, who started earlier, could have over $1 million. Investor B, who started just 10 years later, might have less than half that, maybe around $500,000. Same annual savings, same return rate. The only difference is those 10 extra years of compounding time for investor A. It's dramatic.
That really drives it home. And time helps smooth out market volatility, too.
Absolutely. Yeah. Financial markets go up and down in the short term. Trying to time those swings is incredibly difficult even for professionals. But over long periods, decades, the overall trend of well-diversified markets has historically been upward. Time allows investors to ride out the inevitable bumps and benefit from that long-term growth trajectory.
So patience beats panic.
Usually, yes. Time also allows for effective diversification to work its magic. Spreading investments across different areas means that when one part of the market is down, another might be up, smoothing the overall ride.
And this ties into delayed gratification, doesn't it? Reinvesting instead of spending.
Critically, the willingness to forego immediate consumption and instead reinvest earnings or profits allows compounding to work its wonders. It's about prioritizing larger future rewards over smaller present pleasures. And time isn't just for money, it's also crucial for building expertise knowledge about markets, industries, strategies, and for nurturing those valuable relationships we talked about earlier. Both take years to mature.
Okay, this next one is intriguing. Impact as earnings, meaning your influence can actually generate income. How does that work?
It's a fascinating concept. Influence, the ability to shape thoughts, guide choices, motivate actions, is itself a valuable asset that can be cultivated and, yes, monetized. At its core, remember that almost all economic activity involves human interaction.
Right, buying, selling, negotiating, it's all people.
Exactly. So your ability to effectively persuade, inspire trust, communicate value, your influence directly impacts your success in those interactions. Greater influence often translates to creating more value, commanding higher prices, closing more deals, and thus higher earnings.
So how do you build that kind of valuable influence? It's not just about being loud, presumably.
Definitely not. It starts with building a foundation of credibility, demonstrating genuine expertise, and achieving tangible results in your field. You need substance. Then it's about becoming a thought leader.
Sharing your knowledge.
Yes, generously sharing valuable insights, perspectives, and solutions through writing, speaking, teaching, mentoring. When you consistently provide value to others, your reputation and influence naturally grow. Connecting effectively is also key, actively participating in your professional communities, building genuine relationships based on mutual respect and helpfulness.
And social media must be a huge amplifier for influence today.
Immense. Platforms like LinkedIn, X, even TikTok or Instagram, depending on the field, allow individuals to build a personal brand and reach a global audience. Consistently sharing useful content, engaging with others thoughtfully, it builds visibility and authority.
And then opportunities to monetize that influence arise.
Often, yes. Speaking engagements, consulting opportunities, book deals, brand partnerships, advisory roles, these can flow from having built significant influence and trust within a particular sphere. But maintaining that trust is paramount. Influence built on shaky foundations or used unethically rarely lasts. And association matters too. Being connected with other respected individuals or institutions can enhance your own perceived influence.
Okay. What about getting ready for the right moment? This sounds like it's about making your own luck. How do the wealthy prepare for opportunities?
Precisely. That saying, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity, is incredibly relevant here. Success rarely strikes randomly. The wealthy understand that being lucky usually means being exceptionally well prepared when an opportunity happens to arise.
So what does that preparation involve? What are the key components?
It's multifaceted. Continuous learning and skill development are huge. Staying curious, acquiring relevant knowledge through reading, courses, mentorship, hands-on experience, the better equipped you are, the more opportunities you'll recognize and be able to capitalize on. Building and maintaining that strong, diverse network is another critical piece of preparation. Opportunities often come through people.
And having the resources ready, financial readiness.
Absolutely vital. Being financially prepared, having savings, access to credit, investments that can be liquidated if needed, allows you to act decisively when a time-sensitive opportunity appears. Whether it's investing in a downturn, acquiring a key asset, or funding a new venture, financial readiness enables action.
So preparation covers skills, network, and finances. How do you get better at actually spotting the opportunities when they come along?
That comes down to developing awareness and pattern recognition. Staying informed about trends in your industry and the wider world. Cultivating that curiosity we talked about earlier. Being open to seeing possibilities where others see only problems or the status quo. Sometimes the best opportunities are disguised.
And then you have to actually act on it. Preparation isn't enough.
That's the final crucial step. Courage. Many people might be prepared and even spot an opportunity, but then hesitate due to fear of failure or uncertainty. Taking calculated risks, trusting your preparation, learning from setbacks, that's what turns potential into reality. Not every opportunity will pan out, but inaction guarantees zero return.
Okay. Let's talk about mindset again with the mindset of ownership. This feels really core, shifting from maybe a debt or employee mentality to really taking control.
It's a fundamental psychological shift.
Yeah.
Moving from passively reacting to your financial situation or feeling controlled by debt or employment to proactively taking charge as the owner of your financial destiny. It's about responsibility and control.
How does it contrast with a debt-focused mindset?
When you're heavily focused on debt, your income often feels like it belongs to your creditors. Your choices are constrained by repayment obligations. An ownership mindset flips that. You focus on acquiring assets, things that you control, that generate income for you, and potentially grow in value over time. Ownership creates options and autonomy.
How do you cultivate this, especially if you're starting out with debt?
It starts with the mental prioritization, recognizing the power of ownership and making it a conscious goal. Then take small, manageable steps. You don't have to buy a huge company overnight. Start by owning something, even if it's just shares in a low-cost index fund, a tiny piece of a rental property through a syndicate, or even just fully owning the tools of your trade if you're a freelancer. Build from there.
And focusing on assets that do something, income-generating ones.
Yes, that's key. Prioritize acquiring assets that are expected to produce income, like dividend stocks, rental properties, profitable side businesses, or appreciate significantly in value. This builds momentum and reinforces the ownership mindset. It also involves being willing to take calculated risks for potentially greater rewards.
And this ownership mindset extends beyond just financial assets, right?
Absolutely. It applies to your career, taking ownership of your skills, your professional development, your personal brand. It's about seeing yourself as the CEO of You Inc., responsible for growth and value creation in all areas. And it doesn't mean avoiding all debt, but rather using debt strategically, as we discussed, specifically to acquire assets and build ownership.
Okay. Next, growing for a sustainable future, which really comes down to scalability. Why is this concept so critical for significant wealth creation?
Scalability is the ability of a business, system, or investment strategy to handle growth, increased demand, volume, or complexity efficiently and effectively, without a proportional increase in costs or resources. It's often the difference between a small lifestyle business and a potential empire.
So a business that can grow without breaking.
Exactly. Many ventures start strong but hit a wall because their model isn't scalable. They can't handle more customers, expand to new markets, or increase output without costs skyrocketing or quality plummeting. Scalable models, however, are designed for growth. Think Starbucks versus a single local coffee shop.
Right. The Starbucks model can be replicated almost infinitely. The local shop is limited by its physical space and the owner's time.
Precisely. That ability to replicate success and expand reach without fundamental constraints is what allows for exponential wealth creation.
How do you build scalability into a business or system from the start?
It requires conscious design. First, identify the core value-creating activities versus things that can be systematized, automated, or delegated. A consultant might automate their booking system or use templates for reports to free up time for high-level strategy. Technology is a massive enabler of scalability.
Software, platforms.
Yes, digital products, software as a service, online platforms, these can often serve millions of users with relatively low marginal costs per additional user. That's why tech has generated so much wealth. Creating standardized, repeatable processes is also key. Think of McDonald's franchising model, a highly standardized system that allows for rapid, consistent global expansion.
So systems and technology are crucial, and this relates to sustainability too, not just infinite growth.
Yes, true scalability also implies sustainability. It's not just about growing fast, but about building a model that can endure, adapt to changing conditions, manage resources responsibly, and ideally have a positive long-term impact. It's about building something robust and lasting.
Okay. This next one ties back to personal resources. Boosting your income potential through energy management. How direct is the link between personal energy and earning power? Is it really more important than just managing time?
The link is incredibly direct, though often overlooked. Think about it. Your ability to focus, be creative, solve problems, persevere through challenges, make good decisions, all critical for earning more, are directly fueled by your physical, mental, and emotional energy levels.
So low energy equals lower performance, lower income potential.
Pretty much. We're not machines. Simply trying to cram more work hours into a state of exhaustion or burnout is counterproductive. The quality of your energy matters far more than the sheer quantity of hours worked. High energy leads to higher productivity, better ideas, more resilience, all of which boost earning potential.
So how do you optimize this personal energy? Beyond the obvious, like sleep?
Sleep is foundational, absolutely. But so are nutrition, fueling your body properly, and regular physical activity, which ironically boost energy levels. Those are the physical basics. But mental and emotional energy are just as vital.
Mindfulness, stress management.
Yes. Practices like meditation, mindfulness, or simply taking regular breaks can significantly improve focus and reduce stress, preserving mental energy. Understanding your own personal energy rhythms is helpful too, scheduling demanding tasks for when you naturally feel most alert and capable.
And your environment, the people around you.
Huge impact. Surrounding yourself with positive, supportive people tends to boost energy. Toxic relationships or work environments drain it rapidly. Building routines that support energy, like a consistent morning ritual, short breaks throughout the day, activities you genuinely enjoy, helps maintain momentum. And crucially, prioritizing rest and recovery, vacations, hobbies, downtime isn't laziness. It's essential maintenance for sustained high performance and earning potential.
Treat yourself like a high-performance athlete, in a way.
That's a great analogy. You need training, fuel, and recovery.
Okay, let's tackle something many find intimidating. Negotiation made easy. The core idea is that almost everything is negotiable. Is that really true?
It's surprisingly true, much more often than people think. From salaries and job benefits to the price of a car or the terms of a contract, there's often more flexibility than is immediately apparent. The wealthy tend to operate with the assumption that negotiation is always possible, or at least worth exploring.
And they approach it differently, not as a battle.
Often, yes. The most effective negotiators aim for a win-win outcome where possible. They see it less as a zero-sum game and more as a collaborative problem-solving process to find a solution that benefits both sides and potentially creates more value overall.
So the first hurdle is just overcoming the fear of asking, the fear of rejection.
That's a big one. Many people are afraid of seeming greedy or confrontational, or they fear hearing no. But the wealthy often understand that the worst-case scenario in most negotiations is simply maintaining the status quo. If you don't ask, the answer is definitely no. Asking opens up possibilities.
What are the key elements of successful negotiation then, beyond just having the confidence to ask?
Preparation is paramount. Researching the other party's position, understanding their likely needs and constraints, knowing your own walkaway point, your BATNA best alternative to a negotiated agreement. Active listening is also critical, really trying to understand the other side's perspective before pushing your own agenda.
Being flexible, too, not just fixated on one outcome.
Yes, flexibility and creativity are key. Be open to different ways of structuring a deal. It's not always just about the headline price. Maybe timing, payment terms, additional services, or non-monetary factors can be part of a mutually agreeable solution. Sometimes strategic silence can be powerful, too. Resisting the urge to fill every pause can give you more leverage.
And knowing when to walk away is actually a source of strength.
Absolutely. Being genuinely willing to walk away if a deal isn't right signals you're not desperate and strengthens your negotiating position. Prioritizing the long-term relationship over winning every single point is also often wise, especially in business. And maintaining emotional control, staying calm, rational, and objective, even when things get tense, is crucial for making good decisions under pressure.
Okay, now for a really expansive idea, creating the future. This isn't just predicting trends, but actively shaping what's next.
Exactly. It's a proactive stance. The most influential and often wealthiest individuals don't just react to the world as it is or try to guess what's coming. They have a vision for how things could be,
Mm.
and they actively work to bring that vision into reality.
Mm.
They shape markets, create new industries, influence societal norms.
So it requires a possibility mindset, seeing potential where others don't.
Yes, seeing the world not just as it is, but as it could be. Challenging assumptions, questioning the status quo. Instead of asking what will happen, they ask, what future do I want to help create, and what steps can I take to make it happen?
How do they develop that vision? Is it just innate genius?
It's usually a combination of deep observation, understanding current trends, unmet needs, emerging technologies, societal shifts, and synthesizing that information into a compelling vision of a possible future. Foresight plays a role too, anticipating future problems or needs and developing solutions before they become widely recognized.
And they're willing to invest for the very long term in these visions.
Often, yes. True innovation and future-shaping initiatives rarely offer quick payoffs. It requires a willingness to invest significant time, capital, and energy into projects that might not bear fruit for years or even decades. It often involves placing multiple bets, too, acknowledging that not every vision will pan out.
And collaboration is probably key here too, building networks.
Absolutely. Shaping the future is rarely a solo endeavor. It involves building coalitions, collaborating with other innovators, entrepreneurs, researchers, policymakers, creating ecosystems that foster new ideas and drive change. And sometimes, by clearly articulating a compelling vision and working persistently towards it, they can create a kind of self-fulfilling prophecy, inspiring others to join and making the envisioned future more likely. But this power comes with a significant ethical responsibility to ensure the future being created is beneficial.
A huge responsibility. Okay, let's revisit relationships with return on investment in relationships, or relationship ROI, treating connections like appreciating assets.
Precisely. We've talked about the importance of networks, but this frames it explicitly as an investment yielding tangible and intangible returns over time. Just like financial capital, social capital, the value embedded in your relationships needs to be cultivated, managed, and strategically deployed.
So, how do you approach relationships with an ROI mindset without being purely transactional or cynical?
It's about being purposeful, not transactional. Focus on building deep, authentic connections with people who align with your values, who inspire and challenge you, and who operate in spheres relevant to your goals. Think mentors, peers you admire, collaborators, people with diverse expertise, quality over quantity.
And investing in these relationships means
Consistently investing time, attention, genuine interest, and support. Remembering details, offering help without being asked, celebrating their successes, being there during challenges. It might occasionally involve financial support too, but the core investment is personal energy and commitment over the long haul. And again, offering value is key.
give first.
Always. Be known as someone who helps others connect, share knowledge, solve problems. This builds goodwill and strengthens the network for everyone, including yourself. Diversifying your relationship portfolio is also smart. Connections across different industries, age groups, backgrounds, bring broader perspectives and resilience.
And patience is paramount here too, right? ROI is an instant.
Absolutely. Meaningful relationships and the trust they're built on take years, sometimes decades, to fully mature. The most significant returns often come much later. And like any portfolio, it's wise to periodically review your key relationships. Are they mutually beneficial? Do they still align with your goals and values? It ensures your relational investments remain healthy and productive.
Okay, finally, the grandest vision of all. Thinking in centuries, not just years. This sounds like legacy building on an epic scale.
It is. This is perhaps the ultimate differentiator for truly dynastic wealth. While most people plan for retirement, maybe the next generation, this mindset involves making decisions today based on their potential impact decades or even centuries down the line. It's about building something truly enduring.
How does that perspective change day-to-day financial decisions?
It fundamentally shifts the focus from short-term gains or market timing to long-term value creation and preservation. Investments are chosen for their resilience, their ability to withstand cycles and generate returns over vast stretches of time. Things like strategically located real estate, which tends to appreciate over centuries, or investing in robust, adaptable businesses, often those paying sustainable dividends, that can weather economic storms and potentially pass wealth through generations.
So it's about assets that last, and it goes beyond just financial assets.
Oh, absolutely. Thinking in centuries involves investing heavily in human capital across generations, prioritizing education, values transmission, fostering entrepreneurial spirit within the family. Look at families like the Rockefellers or Rothschilds. Their legacy is as much about principles and governance as it is about money. It also means meticulous planning for succession and wealth transfer.
Family governance structures.
Yes, establishing things like family offices, trusts, foundations, clear charters that define the family's values, and mission for managing the wealth and its impact over generations. These structures are designed to protect assets from dissipation, taxes, and disputes, ensuring alignment with the founder's long-term vision.
And often, a strong focus on societal impact emerges from this long view.
Very often. When you think in centuries, your legacy becomes intertwined with the broader world. This leads many long-term wealth creators to establish foundations or endowments aimed at addressing major societal challenges, like the Carnegie or Ford Foundations, ensuring their resources continue to make a positive impact long after they're gone. It's about balancing present needs with the responsibility of building a better sustainable future for generations to come.
Wow. Thinking in centuries. That really puts things in perspective. What an incredible journey through these insights. From, making money work 3 times before you spend it, to using debt strategically, seeing taxes as a guide, building relationship capital, and finally planning for legacies that span generations. It's clear that building significant wealth is so much more than just earning a paycheck.
It truly is. It's a combination of mindset, specific strategies, disciplined execution, and crucially, that long-term perspective. These aren't just secrets in the sense of being hidden, but principles and ways of thinking that fundamentally differ from the norm.
And the powerful thing is, these insights, these ways of thinking, they're now available to you, our listener. You can use them to start transforming your own approach to your financial future.
Absolutely. The potential is there.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, here's something to think about. Considering everything we've explored today, all these different facets of wealth creation, what one principle, just one, resonates most strongly with you? What's one idea you'll commit to exploring or maybe even implementing starting today? Not just thinking about the next few years, but maybe, just maybe, with an eye toward building something truly lasting.